I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 168, If You Want Him to Reassure You. I used to think of myself as the wife of a porn addict, but I do not think of myself that way anymore, and you don't have to either. In this podcast, I am going to teach you how to manage your mind and your emotions so that you can stop living your life around your husband's pornography addiction. I am going to teach you how to stop being the victim and how to conquer his pornography addiction, even if he never does. I'm Jolene Wynn. I am a certified life coach, and I am a member of the LDS faith and the wife of a former porn addict. And this is a podcast for the porn addict's wife. Hello, my ladies. Good morning. How are you guys? I am recording this episode a little bit early. As you guys know, I told you guys this last week on the podcast. I am on a trip with my family. I will be in Alaska on a cruise when this comes out. I'm very excited. And so I got to record this a little bit early, and I'm very excited about it. So actually today is the day that I'm packing. We are getting on an airplane tomorrow morning. Our flight takes off at 5 a.m. and TSA opens at 4. So I think we need to be at the airport at 3, which means I'm getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And right now I'm currently debating if I'm even just going to go to sleep tonight, which I'm sure I will. I'm not the type of person that does well with no sleep. So I think I am going to go to sleep. I think I'm going to go to make all my kids go to bed at 6, and I'm going to go to bed at 7 and get up at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means I just need to finish packing, which I'm pretty good. All my kids are packed. Rob is in charge of packing himself. So that could be a problem. Although there have been times in our lives where I was the one that was in charge of all the packing because, maybe he was working and we had to leave right after he was done work or something like that. Or I, was still doing laundry and so he couldn't pack in time. So I did it for him. And I'm pretty good, but it comes up probably about 50% of the time. I forget one thing. And it's like, one time we went on vacation and I got everybody's everything except I forgot Georgia's pajamas. And one time we went on a cruise and I forgot my husband's underwear. So thankfully he had what he was wearing. And the first stop was in Mexico and he went to, Mexican Target and bought a pack of underwear. I don't know. I always forget it. Not always, but about half the time I forget, turns out I forgot this kid's sneakers or this kid's whatever. So I'm hoping that I don't forget something this time. And Rob is in charge of packing it himself. So if he forgets his underwear, that's entirely on him, and that is not on me this time. But hopefully we'll be fine. We will get packed, and my kids are so excited. So let's just hope that I can convince them to go to sleep early so that we can get up in the middle of the night to go to the airport and get on this plane. It's going to be amazing. Ladies, I wanted to remind you that you can now sign up for my retreat. As you guys know, in October 19th to the 22nd, I am hosting a 3-day in-person retreat in Ocean Isle, North Carolina. And during this retreat, there are 14 spots. As of recording this podcast, there are 9 spots left. And this will be booked completely. It was amazing last year. We did 14 women last year, and that was a perfect number of women. I keep it small and intimate on purpose because I spend a lot of one-on-one time with each of the women that are there. And I do that on purpose. This retreat is designed for you to have the ability to work through wherever is keeping you stuck. And if you want to know what we're going to focus on this retreat, one of the things that I'm going to be teaching is really how to re-identify yourself, how to recreate the way that you think about yourself. So if you don't like the way that you think about yourself, or if there's something about the way that you think about yourself that you're trying to shift, whether it's the way you see your body or how you see yourself as a wife or any part of your identity that you are really trying to work on, then I want to encourage you to sign up. All the details are on my website. You can go to jolenewynn.com, go to the retreat tab, and you'll find all the information that you need. And there is currently a payment plan available, but that will expire. That ends on July 31st. So if you want to come and the payment plan is going to be the way that makes that available for you, then make sure that you snag one of those spots before then. And if you know you want to come, then you need to go snag your spot because it is going to sell out and it's going to start selling out really fast because this is what happened last year as well. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see who gets to come. It's going to be amazing. So today I want to talk about reassurance. This is not what I planned on talking about. This always happens. I was going to talk about embarrassment. I'm going to have to do that at another episode because I really want to hit reassurance. This is something that I hear a lot. So I want you to just sit back and think where it is that you kind of want reassurance, especially from your spouse. Here are some of the ways that I hear it the most. I just want him, meaning my spouse, I want him to reassure me that we're moving forward. I want reassurance from him that he finds me attractive. I want him to reassure me that he's working on this, right? Does this sound familiar to you? There can be 100 different answers or different ends to the sentence of what you want reassurance on, but I want you to just sit with that for a minute. Where is it that you want him to reassure you? What do you want reassurance for? Okay. Now, I know that this can happen in a lot of different relationships, but I specifically want you to take a moment and think about this in regards to your spouse. We want him to say or do something that makes us feel better. Most of the time, what we're trying to do is calm the way that we feel. We're feeling anxious about something, and so we want him to say something to make us feel better, right? I'm feeling anxious or nervous or scared, and I want him to reassure me that everything's going to be okay, that it's all going to work out. I want him to reassure me that I'm not overreacting. This is one of the things that I hear so often on consultations with potential clients is they'll talk to me and they'll say, okay, they just want me to reassure them that the way that they are responding is normal, right? They have some doubt, they have some fear, maybe some self-judgment, and they want me to say something that'll make them feel better, right? To calm them down. They want to feel better. That's what we want reassurance for. Now, if you look up the definition of reassurance, the reassurance is the action of removing someone's doubts or fears. And this was super fascinating to me. I'm going to say it again. Reassurance, which is what we want from our husband, right? That's what we're thinking about today. If we want reassurance from him, we want him to remove our doubts and fears. We want him to say or do something that will remove our doubt and fear. Ladies, he is not that powerful. Okay? Doubt and fear, these are just emotions that you feel. And the emotions that we feel come because of our thoughts, right? Our thoughts are what create our feelings. So if I'm feeling doubt and fear, it doesn't matter how much I want my husband to remove those, he can't because I'm the one feeling those. And if I'm feeling those, it's because I'm creating those with my thoughts. So no matter what he does, ladies, he cannot change those emotions inside of you. And no amount of reassurance will make you feel calm about something if you're not sure about it in the first place. That's so fascinating about this word too. To reassure somebody, which is what we want someone to reassure us, implies that you're sure about it in the first place. We don't want him to make us feel sure. We want him to reassure. We want him to be sure again. We want him to make us feel better about something we feel good about in the first place. But if you don't feel good about it in the first place, if you're not sure about it already, no amount of reassurance is ever going to make you feel better. It's not going to remove any of that doubt and fear because the doubt and fear is coming because of your thoughts. If you're not sure about it, he can't reassure you. Does this make sense? You guys with me? It's just like external validation. You guys remember I talked about this just last week on the podcast. In the same way, if you are not internally validated, no amount of external validation is going to create that for you. Reassurance is the same way. If you are not sure of it in the first place, no amount of reassurance is going to calm your anxiety or your nerves or your doubt or your fears or remove them because that is entirely up to you. This makes sense? Removing your doubts and fears is your job. Stop giving him responsibility for your emotions. Ladies, he can't even handle his own emotions. Stop giving him responsibility for your emotions. This is the best news I could ever give you is that you are responsible for your own emotions. I know it sounds overwhelming. I know it sounds scary. I know it sounds like I'm blaming you for how you feel. No blame required. I'm giving you the best news I could ever give you, which is it's not up to him. Thank goodness. He's not even handling himself well. We don't need to put him in charge of more things, especially things that make us feel full of doubt and fear. That's entirely up to us. Your doubt and your fear is up to you. It is being created by your thoughts about what he's doing and saying. And again, so good to know, because now we can stop waiting for him to make us feel better. We get to do it on our own. So if you want reassurance from someone, ladies, seek it from yourself. Again, remember, reassurance is the action of removing someone's doubts or fears. So if you're the one that's having doubt and fear, then you can actually turn to yourself for the reassurance that you're seeking. You can be the one who removes your own doubt and fear. And in fact, you are the only one that can remove your own doubt and fear, because you are the creator of your doubt and fear. Your thoughts create your feelings. Doubt and fear are just feelings. So if you are the creator of your doubts and your fears, then that means that you can also be the one that makes them go away. Isn't that amazing? You can remove your own doubts and fears, okay? Once you learn that they're just emotions, once you learn that doubt and fear are just emotions created by your thoughts, suddenly you are back in control. When you learn how to manage your mind and master your emotions, you will be capable of being the source of reassurance that you seek. So you can stop going to him and asking him questions that are trying to make you feel better. Stop going to him hoping that he's the one that can make you feel less anxious, hoping that he can be the one that reassures you that you're moving forward, or reassures you that you're attractive, or reassures you that he's working on it, or whatever it is that you want reassurance for, right? You get to be the source of this, and you will be capable of being the source of reassurance for yourself at any time that you need it. Isn't that amazing? And here's the other amazing part. When you learn how to accept and process your emotions, like doubt and fear, and choose thoughts on purpose, you may not even need to be reassured, even by yourself, because you won't need to remove your doubts and fears. This is like next level. Okay. So for those of you who've been listening to the podcast for a while, you're with me. For those of you who are brand new, stay with me. Okay. You might not even need to remove your doubts and fears, because you can get to a place where you see them, you accept them, you process them, and perhaps you might even choose to keep them. Think about it. Why do you want to get rid of your doubt and fear in the first place? Mostly because it's uncomfortable. But ladies, sometimes you might want to have a little doubt and fear. It's totally fine. In fact, fear is supposed to keep you alive. Now, when you're not in charge of your brain, fear will run rampant and often create a more negative result. So if this is why you have to be in charge of your brain, or why it's so important or helpful to learn how to be in charge of your brain, because you can watch the fear, you can see when it's happening, you can notice when it's working against you or not working in your favor, and you can change it. But sometimes you might want to keep the doubt. This is what I talk about when I talk about trust, okay? Trust is something that you can entirely control, but sometimes you might choose not to. You might choose distrust instead. Now, with distrust comes a little bit of doubt. With distrust comes a little bit of anxiety. If you are learning, if you have mastered your mind and your emotions, you might choose to keep the distrust anyway. Totally fine. Maybe you've chosen to do that on purpose. In the same way that you can, once you learn how to manage your mind and master your feelings, then you might get to a point where you see the doubt and you see the fear, and you might choose to keep it anyway. Again, notice that one of the reasons why we want to get rid of doubt and fear in the first place is simply because it feels uncomfortable. That's one of the reasons why we want reassurance. We don't even understand, ladies, most of you don't even know why it is that you feel uncomfortable. You just know that you do. Or you've already blamed it on your husband. Well, I feel uncomfortable. I have a lot of doubts and fears and anxieties and all of these things because my husband's watching porn. So I just need him to be the one that reassures me that I don't have to feel this way. And it works for like a split second, right? If he reassures, if you go to him and you say, you know what, I just want a reassurance that we're moving forward. And he's like, yes, totally. Look at all the things that I'm doing. Or it doesn't even have to be the things he's doing. It's him saying all the right things to make you feel better, whatever those things are for you. And he says all the things that make you feel better. And maybe it works for a couple of hours or maybe a day or two. Maybe it works for a week. But after a while, it fades away. Why? Because your thoughts are what are creating the doubts and fears, not what he's doing, not what he's saying. Okay? Your thoughts about what he's doing and saying are creating your doubt and your fear. And so the little Band-Aid that he puts on, the reassurance that he gives you, makes you feel better for a minute, which is why we want it. But when you learn how to manage your mind and master your emotions, and you learn how to process doubt and fear, you don't need relief from them. So the need for reassurance goes away. You guys with me? That's what I'm talking about. This is so powerful. You can get to a place where you see all of this and you don't need relief from it, because they're simply emotions that you process and you feel and you let them go, and you're managing your mind so you know what's creating them, and you can either retrain your brain to think new thoughts, or you can keep the thoughts that are creating the doubt and the fear and just process it as it comes up. And that is what enables true freedom, ladies. When you are the one in control of how you choose to think and feel, that's when you are no longer the victim. So if you want reassurance, it's not going to come from him, but it can come from within you. Or if you learn how to manage your mind and master your feelings, you may not even need it. Ladies, I love you so much. If you want help learning how to do this, this is what I teach in my program. I teach you how to manage your mind and master your emotions so that you can stop living a life where you are waiting for him to make you feel better, waiting for him to be the one that erases your doubts and fears. You get to be the one that does it. That is what I teach you how to do. I love you ladies so much. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you next week. So take care. All right, ladies, it's time to rise up and take charge of your healing, and I have the best way for you to do it. I have created a lifetime access coaching program that I have designed specifically for you and exactly what you're going through right now. This is where I help you develop a personal mastery of all the tools that you're learning here on the podcast in order for you to create a permanent change. Go to my website, joleneWynn.com. You will find all the information there, and you can sign up today, and we will start going forward. I can't wait to see you there.